Hello? Alright, there we go. Hello, everyone, hello. Oh, is my music still on? It's kind of low. Let me see if I can fix it. Okay, I think that should be fine. If anything, I'll just turn it down. It's too loud. But, hello, everyone, hello. I am back again. So sorry I had to cancel yesterday's stream. I planned to, if my, job didn't ask me to stay to help them close, because I was supposed to get off like hours before I was supposed to close. So by the time I got home, ate, relaxed, and would have more than enough time and energy to do the stream. But by the time, but then they needed help. Someone had called out, so they needed someone to stay to close. So I just helped them close. So I ended up staying extra. Oh, pardon me. Ended up staying extra hours. Luckily we weren't there for too long, but you know, by the time I got home, 8, it was like, by the time I spun around, it was already like 11 something. I was like, and at that point, I was like falling asleep. My eyes were droopy. I was like, you know what? No point if me trying to do something and end up falling asleep or not really into it. So I just canceled the stream today, and moved it over to Sunday, which it turned out it's actually Sunday we are going to be closed for Easter, which I thought we were going to be open. But no, they informed me that we will be closed Easter, so that's a good part for that. So I definitely figured, you know what, if I'm gonna have that Sunday off and I didn't really have anything else scheduled planned already for that day, we'll just move over the Persona stream we were supposed to do to that to make up for it. But yeah, I blinked for a second. But I was everyone's Thursday. I'm so turned around, I don't even know what days it is sometimes. But yeah, how's everyone's Thursday going? Mine's just a chill day. Kind of chilled, relaxed, didn't really do anything. Hopped onto some more Weathering Waves. No, I didn't do anything like story-wise. Just running around, collecting stuff, trying to level up my characters and whatnot. But I did see there's a new person that's having a banner. And I figured before we hop into our main, kind of like the main topic, but kind of like one of the main things we'll be talking about today, I figured we hop over and do, this actually is a showcase I haven't seen of this person yet. And I remember when I was starting the game, someone was like, oh, if you see this person or you get to this person, like this person's really good to get. So it's Shorekeeper. Let's see, let me go over to my reaction screen. That's what it was. Oops. Fix myself. Yeah, so they were like, oh, this character's really good once they come out, so definitely get them. And as I was looking, I was like, oh, wrong one. Yeah, I don't need to see that. There we go. Yeah, so apparently they have a banner out, so now you can get them, and you can get their weapon, too. I know nothing about this character. Of course, I haven't even gotten to the point in the game where I guess we eventually meet up with this character. But I did hear that this character is really good to get, so I'm very interested. So I figured we do their showcase since they're kind of already out. Maybe do like maybe 2 other ones, and then we will hop over and I'll talk about that main topic. Not main topic, but kind of like with the main thing I kind of do for these kind of just chatting streams. And then, I don't know, maybe we'll, anything else that comes to mind, we'll just talk about. But, so let me actually get the audio up when we're ready. Let me turn off my background music. And yeah, so this is the person that's out right now, Shorekeeper. I don't know anything about her. I just saw her and I'm like, oh, cool. And I've seen like, not glimpses, but I've seen like images of her. So I was like, oh, interesting, okay. So this is their showcase they came out like 6 months ago. So I planned on going on order, but since this person's kind of out with some type of event with this character in the game, I figured why not? We'll just hop in and we'll do this. Do their showcase since it is on the list of the Weathering Waves characters showcases that I need to see. So everything's up. Alright, so let's begin.
Life. Life is the dim light that flickers in the chaos, the faint heartbeat that echoes in the silence. A beautiful accident and a deliberate creation in the galaxies.
This is a very pretty character.
Can an entity of energy be called life?
Like, the design
Perhaps
is
the answer is hidden within.
incredible.
Breezes ferry me to the wild. Time flows over me without a trace, like raindrops lost in the lake.
Okay.
But unlike me, humans are blessed with boundless possibilities. So I close my eyes and try to be one of them.
Is she like some internal being or something like that?
I feel disasters sweeping through relentlessly. Civilizations collapsing like fragile sandcastles. Their loss. Agony.
Ooh, damn.
Decay and decline.
Oh, what the?
I feel it all. What am I?
Oh, damn. Just
An
everyone's just
observer
getting
of
murdered
this
around
world.
her.
A seeker of its origin. Or a witness to life.
Oh,
Am I
she's like crackle, like she's breaking like crystal. What the hell?
outside?
Oh,
When the wuthering waves subside, we need a haven to restore civilization. Let's make this shore the beginning of our story.
oh, it's us.
The beginning of our story. I understand now. I exist because of you.
Oh,
My purpose is born from the burdens you carry.
so like, did we create her or something?
Civilization will endure on this shore. And this shore is a testament to my existence. Rectify.
I'm loving the whole butterfly theme for her.
Astral modulation. Ordained.
This is so cool. How she's like fighting with butterflies. Interesting. Oh, wait, there's a little more.
Shorekeeper.
Okay. So she is, at least in my understanding, like she's some, like not some ancient being, but maybe like some type of eternal being, a being that can't really die, somehow connected to us. Either maybe we created them to maybe keep watch of the world until we reincarnate or come back when we're needed, or something like that. At least that's what I'm understanding. But no, this character seems really cool. I'm loving the whole kind of butterfly theme. I'm sure I'll know more about the character once I've actually get introduced to them into the actual game. But no, this character seems cool. I really am just loving the whole butterfly, how and her fighting style. So actually, let's see that one more time.
Rectify.
It's so like elegant too, how she fights.
Astral modulation.
Like so elegant and whatnot. But that's very interesting. Alright. So, you know what? Let's see. Who... I think I should just go next on the list. So, we could move Shorekeeper since we saw her. So let's go with the person that was next on the list. Know how to say her name? Rock... Casina? Maybe they'll say it. But that's the next one. Alright. Oh, okay.
Everything the light touches will be yours.
Gaze all around on a realm of pure creation. But a
Oh, is she part of the
sign
group with the other guy?
bears witness as the bells of the convent chime. All you once had made is proof now of your crime.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh, hell no.
You've got no destination. Run, though you might not get away. You can only guess how far your feet will go, but you know what
Oh, okay.
Yes, you know what happens if you stay.
Oh, and her eyes are two different colors. One's like yellow and one's reddish, pink.
In the distant scene, escape is an endless road.
Oh, is this people she known dying?
That some good comes from the eager seeds you've sowed.
What the fuck is that?
But the final die is cast. The end is coming fast.
What is that thing? Like it's a looks like a shadow monster or something.
There's a rebel anthem rising.
Oh, that's cool.
Join the ranks and storm the stage. It's the final act before the curtain call. Let that dance keep going. Paint on canvas flowing. Let the song keep rolling off the page.
It's like her familiar or something. There's a lot more. Okay. Yeah, she's part of the group with the other guy, because the mask is the same, the color scheme's the same. So they must be part of the same group. Yeah, see? There he goes right there.
When the spotlight graces the stage once more, we shall return.
I was thinking maybe they're related, because they kind of have the same hair, like hair color. Ah, stop it. Pause. Alright, well that one was interesting too. Yeah, I think she might be related to the other character, or at least they're part of the same group. Because she has the same like color scheme, uniform, and the same people we saw in his. So they obviously are connected in some way. Don't know why or not how, but I'm sure once we meet them, we'll learn how they're really connected. Let's see, we could do one more. No, why just do the character that's popped up? We'll do her. Was that like her
Victoria
father?
In the name of our family, I swear, Giacomo Faciaspina will soon bow before you in regret.
Don't know who that is?
May his repentance bring peace to your soul.
Montutelli family. Okay. Ooh.
Good morning, Mr. Faciaspina.
Okay, so that's clearly the person she was talking about.
You had quite a restful night. Do forgive us for being so forward. The Montelli family is known for their bold greetings.
Oh, is she like a
What a shame. You're
the head of like a
unable to
mob
attend
family or
Victoria's
something?
funeral. Perhaps before the carnival, you might find some time to pay your respects while the prospect for amends still remains. Well, morning hours are precious. Therefore, I shan't impose any further. Enjoy the rest of your day, Mr. Faciaspina. I'll see you at the auction.
Yeah, clearly she look like she's gotta be the head of like a mob family. Or next in line to be head of a mob family.
Next, we have the banquet. Starting bid, 50,000 monai. Bidder number 4, 55,000 monai. 60,000. 100,000.
Damn.
150,000. 200,000 from bidder number 3. 200,000 monai going once, going twice. Sold for 200,000 monai.
To our friends, the Montellis are always generous. As for our traitors,
Ooh. Oh shit. That almost got her. Oh, it broke the picture too. Damn, just breaking everything. Thought that was a bat. I didn't see the sword part. Damn. Somebody just fell. Somebody just fell to their death. That was funny. But they even got monsters fighting with them?
is this your invitation to dance, gentlemen? No need to rush. The ball has only just begun.
Damn. Crushed her car. Oh. Okay, so she fights with a gun. And it's like she can like make it crisp, like form crystals or control glass or crystals. Oh, that's cool. Okay, I like this character. Oh, it was him. You idiot.
Why don't we cut a deal?
I thought you trying to kill her.
You can have the Faciaspina estate on Breda Street. And 10 chests of monai. No, wait. Are you really willing to be a gun in someone else's hands?
Damn. Not that you trying to kill her. Get out of my face. You had that coming. I thought that you tried to kill her. Like, come on now. But okay. So she's maybe not the head of the family. Or at least maybe not yet. Maybe she's like second in command. Maybe the daughter of her family. But that was cool. I liked her. And the fact that she was able to like form her gun from like the glass and make it crystallize like that. That was really cool. Alright. Let me go here. Was it here? Yeah, it was here. So let me fix myself. Goodness gracious. Made myself too big. There we go. And I come over here. Turn my music back on. Where is it? Ah, here it is. And boom. Alright, so this is kind of what we'll talk about for at least a good little minute. Not sure if this is something I grew up with, so not sure most people, I know like the now generation probably know next to nothing about this. They probably grew up with some other animated series of Batman. There's been so many over the years. Is there a current one out? Actually, I didn't even check that. I'll check that right now. Is there a Batman animated series out now? Okay, hold on. I don't think so. I don't think there's one like currently out. There used to be a lot back in the day. Oh, there was one apparently from this. It's called Batman Caped Crusader. Started August 1st of 2024. So apparently, I guess there is one out. Okay. It says it's on Amazon Prime Video. Second season was ordered at time of writing. So far, there's one season with 10 episodes. Okay, so I would say that's like the latest Batman animated series that's out. But the one I'm going to be talking about came out, well, I watched it in the early 2000s, but apparently came out in the late, pretty much toward the end of the 1990s. So, for basically, like I said, for my fans like me who grew up in the 2000s, you definitely saw this. This was still kind of airing, well, not airing, but I guess you could say rerunning around the time that I started watching this. I'm talking about Batman, the animated series. So, of course, I'll give a little bit of a synopsis about it, some information about it. I'll go over certain episodes, and then, yeah. So, Batman, the animated series. It's an American animated television show based off, of course, by the DC comic superhero Batman. It was developed by Bruce Timm and Eric Ski. I can't say these names. And produced by Warner Brothers Animation. I didn't know this because where I watched it was a different network channel, but apparently it originally aired on Fox Kids from September 5th, 1992 all the way to the 15th, well, September 15th of 1995, with a total of 85 episodes in total. Midway through the series run, it was retitled The Adventures of Batman and Robin, but I guess you could say more around like the first season was Batman the Animated Series, and then around the time the second season came, that's when they started naming it The Adventures of Batman and Robin, but basically it was just a continuation from the first series itself. So, some tidbits about it. The series was received widespread since it released and was hailed as a groundbreaking superhero show, receiving praise for its writing, art design, voice acting, soundtrack, and modernization of its character source material. Definitely as someone who never really grew up with Batman, I would say this was probably my first introduction to Batman. As a series itself, I've always heard of it, but I've never watched anything of it. I would say this and the animated series for Superman, I think was probably created by probably not the same creators, but definitely made in like the same time span, made by the same like production team that worked on the Batman one. Basically, they look one to one. And in the Superman one, they made a crossover with Batman in pretty much like the same art style, kind of same scenario, world. So you can definitely tell they were made kind of pretty much simply by the same people who worked on this one. And also what they were saying about source material, because there are certain episodes that are like based off like the OG comics. So certain episodes, you could probably like find the comic version of them. A lot of them pretty much are like kind of like most well, not most Batman stories, but kind of like it pretty much is introduction. You know, we start off with Batman, you know, learning more about him and him going through trying to keep Gotham safe and him slowly getting introduced to all the villains that he is really known for going against, like Joker, Riddler, Poison Ivy, Two-Face, Mr. Freeze, Harley Quinn, Joker. Did I say Joker already? I think. Of course, then we get introduced to like Batman. We get introduced to how Batgirl maybe joined the superhero, I guess, family. How Alfred, you know, plays a role in this. Commissioner Gordon, whatnot. Let's see. Its critical success led to the show winning multiple daytime Grammy Awards, as well as primetime Emmy Awards for outstanding animated programming. There are certain episodes too that if you look up, certain episodes won some of those awards. So it just kind of shows just how popular this show was when it was coming out. And like I said, someone who was, why do I got this air bubble? Oh my god. And as someone who watched this in the early 2000s when it was like doing reruns apparently at that point, it was just so interesting. You know, the art style was like anything that was coming out was like around that time, and you could definitely tell it was one of them older shows, but still was just like, it looked so good. You could tell it just had that kind of feel to it, that, you know, you knew what time this was made, but it was still like pretty good and just had that like nostalgia feel to you. Let's see. The series also became the first in the continuation of the shared DC animated universe, which spawned further animated series, feature films, comic books, and video games with much of the same creative talent, including the 1983 theatrical release Batman Mask of the Phantoms. The series follows Bruce Wayne as Batman fighting crime in Gotham while exploring the lives of the original people impacted by crime and corruption. Although the series centers on Batman's battles with various villains, it dives into their complex backgrounds, revealing the personal struggles that make them more relatable. Which is, I think, another really good thing that made this series such a good thing, because it goes into depth. Also, not just Batman and his journey of like starting off as Batman, you know, dealing with crime and how he eventually became the icon that we all know him as. We do get more in depth into the characters, the villains as well. So with this series, we do see, at least in this point of view, the different starting points for a lot of the villains. Kind of like the first introduction to Joker, how he gets introduced to the story. We do meet Two-Face, kind of like how he started out before he eventually ended up becoming Two-Face. Penguin too, getting kind of backstories of Catwoman, Robin, Batgirl, like pretty much everyone, even like all the side characters, even the villains themselves, get really in-depth stories on kind of like what led them down the paths of either good, crime fighting, or evil, pretty much. So it's like we don't just see everything from Batman's point of view, we do kind of see like kind of how the city itself is having an effect on people and kind of what way it like forms them, pretty much. Actually, let me turn down the music. I feel like it might be a little too loud. But what else? Oh, after the series ended, a follow-up titled The New Batman Adventures began airing on Kids WB in 1997. As a continuation of the series, featured a revamped animated style, lasting 24 episodes. It has often been included in the same rerun package and home media release as the final season. So like I said, this series, the original run of Batman the animated series, was so popular, they basically made like two follow-up either seasons or shows to like continue on the story, continue on where it picked up. But the one I'm originally talking about is going to be the first two seasons. The first season itself is 65 episodes long, while season 2 covers the other 20 episodes to make the 85 in total. If you look at like websites like IMB, I think it's called, You can see some of the stuff also about the show itself, that it's top ranked TV. It's the 24th top ranked TV show of all time. Won one primetime Emmy, 5 wins, and 19 nominations as well. Oh, hello. We have some over on YouTube. I'm not sure if my YouTube thing's popping up. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This thing is so odd. But hello, David. Hi. Hello. Just doing a bit of a chatting stream. One of the topics, well, I'll be discussing. I'm not sure if you ever saw this animated series of Batman, but this one's very near and dear to me. Cause I would say this is definitely my first introduction to, the world of Batman and kind of the world of DC in general. This one and the Superman animated series were kind of like my first introductions to pretty much the two like major superheroes that we all like know and pretty much hell's yeah, oh, if we say hell yeah, I think. Yeah, and that, from my understanding, but did I see this one first or Superman? I feel like I saw this one first, and then I noticed that one like a Superman one was made pretty much like in the same art style, kind of not really following the same format, but pretty much like going through the everyday life of Clark Kent, him being Superman, his relationship with Lois Lane, and all the different type of villains that he has to deal with, while also trying to keep his like personal persona, separate from that. And that's another thing too. We do also see in this series, we do see the flip side. So, we'll see like maybe during the day, whatever Bruce Wayne, what he's up to, what he's observing. And then if, something calls for it, he'll, turn over to his Batman persona and go off and, deal with any crimes that might, or anything that might have caught his interest or caught his eye during the day. So it does kind of also play, so we, like I said, we don't just see everything just straight from like Batman's perspective. We also see it from like Bruce Wayne's perspective. We also do see how the villains form, and that's one of the things I wanted to get into. But before I get to that, I also looked up some of the other networks that were running this, and I remember what they used to call Disney XD before they, called it that. It was Jetix. That's what I watched it on there. Before Disney XD was called Disney XD, it went through a lot of changes. They called it like, me growing up, they called it like 3 different things. But the one I mainly know it as is, it was like Toon Disney at one point. Then I think they called it Jetix for a couple of years. And then they called it Disney XD, which, do they still call it Disney XD? Or have they changed that? Disney XD. Yeah, I think so. I don't see anything else. Okay, yeah, so I was right, yeah. So they did call it 3 different things. It was Toon Disney at first, and with that, they would do like all the older older Disney Channel cartoons or even older Disney shows. That's what Toon Disney was for. But I think also to get more into like the kid preteens demographics, that's when they changed it to Jetix. That's when they were having like different shows like Digimon. No, Pokemon was still Cartoon Network. It wasn't Jetix. Like Digimon, like all the seasons of Digimon up to what's that one? I forget which one it was that they like switched over to like Nickelodeon. But like I would say the first like 5 or 6 seasons of Digimon was on Jetix. So that's where I grew up watching like Digimon. It was on Jetix. I watched Witch. Oh, Witch. I would love to talk about Witch one day with y'all. Witch was my favorite show growing up on that. I'm trying to think. Oh, Power Rangers. Duh. Oh my god. That was that the original channel wide? No. It was that or like ABC Family before they changed that too. It was that and Jetix that was playing a lot of the Power Rangers series before they like flipped it over to Nickelodeon too. But that channel, oh my god, like the first couple of seasons of Power Rangers was on Jetix. I think up to like Mystic Force was still Jetix. And then I think by the time Dino Thunder came around, I think Nickelodeon had it or got the licensing for it. Cause then it started being on like Nickelodeon. I'm literally just going down like memory lane of all these shows. I'm trying to see what else. There was like Get It. Oh, I remember Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go. Oh yeah, now that was definitely a Jetix show growing up. Yep, see? What else? Oh no, okay. I'm looking, I found something. No, okay, no. Dino Thunder was on Jetix too. So was Power Rangers SPD, Mystic Force, Operation Overdrive, and Jungle Fury. Damn, it was up all the way up to that. I swear I thought it stopped after Mystic Force. And it just kept, and then like Nickelodeon had gotten it and started showing the rest. Okay, apparently not. Which was none of them. The original Puka. How could I forget? Oh, I would love to do a stream where I just gush about Puka. Puka was my shit watching up. I loved Puka. Yeah, there was Get Ed. There was Yin Yang Yo. There was Chaotic was on this too. Oh, I think this was this one. Digimon Data Squad. I think was the last Digimon series that was on Jetix before it like switched over to somewhere else. What else? Oh my god, I'm like going through these names. I'm just like, yep, I remember this show. I remember this show. I remember this show. There was a bunch of other Monster Buster Club. Ooh, I loved watching that. Kid vs. Cat, Jimmy Two Shoes. Oh man, this was just, yeah, Jetix. At least growing up when they called it Jetix, Jetix was the show where if you wanted to watch something different from whatever was on Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon or Disney, you went on Jetix and you watched like pretty much all the shows I named. They pretty much had like all the action shows kind of growing up. Was it still called? No, I mean I think Jetix at that point it was called Jetix, where the reruns for the Batman series was still on. So yeah, I mean it says here that it was on Jetix. So. But some very iconic people who's on this show. Kevin Conroy as Batman. He's very iconic for playing Batman for the series. Like whenever they do like another animated series, or when they do any of the movies, a lot of people are trying to go back and be like, no voice is kind of like how he did the voice. I know the people, did he do the voice in the Arkham games? Or they said they found someone who's like pretty similar to him, but like he's kind of like made the staple for having the Batman voice. Like whenever people hear any Batman voice, they go back to him and be like, nah, the way he did the voice for Batman was really good. Him and Joker, like they made like the staple of their careers of doing these characters. And that would be Mark Hamill, who did Joker. Oh yeah. Even just hearing it again, I'm just like, yep, this is pretty much, these are the voices I think of when I'm like thinking, when these characters pop up in my head, pretty much. So, like I said, pretty much there are 2 seasons. First season is very, very long, with like 65 episodes. Then season 2 had 20 episodes, but pretty much I won't go through every single episode. Because one, we would literally be here for like 2 hours if I went through every single episode. Plus, I definitely think it's one of them things that you just have to watch yourself. Especially if you're like a huge Batman fan. It's so good to seeing like a different, or like later, what's the word? A different iteration of Batman, kind of seeing how someone else was telling the story. I know there's even like a video I saw on YouTube of someone kind of like talking about it, like talking about the series as a whole, went through everything, kind of like went through all the episodes. Yeah, here it is. Batman the Anime Series Retrospect / Review by Ronan J. Coleman. Pretty much did like an hour and 7-minute video. I think him just pretty much going through the entirety of this entire series, possibly like how it was created, kind of going through every episode too. So where's... I lost my notes for a quick second. But I'll just go through, kind of give, like... There were certain episodes I, like, made notes of, because that's where, like, certain characters popped up, where we get, like, in-depth backstory of certain characters. So, like, episode 2, we kind of get the introduction of Joker, because that one, it's like a... kind of follows what happens in the Arkham City game. It's like Joker had escaped Arkham Asylum, was taking it over, and it was Christmas Eve. So kind of funny how like this is the first episode, the second episode, and like Arkham City is kind of based off of that. In the point that but of course in this one Robin is already part of the team, but because in the game Robin isn't in City. No, I don't think he's in there. I think it's literally just him at that point. But in this one, Robin is there, and you know what? Even growing up, I never knew that there were different Robins. Eventually throughout the year, at least the one that most people are used to is why am I blanking on his name? Good lord. Why am I blanking? I just had it and now I can't remember his name. Why am I blanking? Batman. No. Dick Grayson. There we go. Like, what the hell? Why was I blanking on his name? Like this is like my favorite Robin. And I was just blanking on his name. I was thinking of one of the other ones. But yeah, I believe, at least from my understanding, that Robin in this one is based off of the character of Dick Grayson. There actually is an episode later on in the first season that kind of solidifies that this Robin that we are seeing is based off of that. It's based off of Dick Grayson and his backstory. Then it's like episode 32 and 33 in season 1. Well, of course, I mean, at that point, there's no other. But yeah, it's Robin's Reckoning Part 1 and Part 2. That's where we kind of get more into a backstory for Robin. That's where we get, I guess, confirmation that at that point, that this Robin is based off of Dick Grayson. Also, actually the first part 1, won a Primetime Emmy Award in 1993. It says won the 1993 Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Animation Program for programming less than 1 hour, whatever that means. But yeah, that episode, at least part 1, won a Grammy in 1993. Well, Primetime Emmy. Apparently there's different ones. It's nighttime and then whatnot, but... And then later on, which episode was it? Yeah, I think it's more towards the end of season 1. Episode 57 and 58 is where we get introduced to Barbara Gordon, which of course we know at this point is Commissioner Gordon's daughter, how she gets involved in this as well. Kind of like the case that popped up that got her introduced into everything. Her putting on the persona of Batgirl was basically like her dad got framed for something. Of course, she knew there was no way that her dad did it. I think even at one point went to Batman to try to get him to help, but didn't or wasn't trying to. Instead, she decides that she's going to take matters into her own hands, creating her persona of Batgirl, and then eventually becoming part of the team, clearing her dad's name and whatnot, and showing her skills to not just Batman, but I think to Robin as well, that, she is a valuable member to have. Especially since, we all know at this point Batman doesn't like relying too much on others. Even when it comes to Robin, he tries to have to do much as little as possible. Even to the point of keeping secrets, because in the episode going over Robin's backstory, we find out that he kind of kept crucial information about what happened to his parents, like who caused his parents' death, from him, but then gets revealed in this episode. So he is of course, totally distraught, knowing that you knew this, you knew who he was, you knew his information, you knew everything about the person that basically killed my parents, and you chose to keep that from me. But eventually like comes to terms that yeah, he did keep this for you, but for good reasons. Because if not, he kind of pretty much went on the bin that he was trying to avoid, of him just kind of seeking revenge and hopefully and eventually not crossing the line of killing him. Because as we know, Batman does all this, and even though he does threaten people to hell and back, he never does cross that line of actually taking a life of anyone, villain or otherwise. That is kind of like his code of never, like, he'll do what he has to solve a case, take down the villain and whatnot, but he will never ever ever cross the line of actually taking any of their lives. Which of course we do know later on, at least throughout the years, that that's something that Joker is always trying to do, always trying to push Batman to that limit of trying to push him to make that final step over of eventually taking a life of a villain, saying that, you're trying to seem like you're so much better than us, but in reality, you're not all that different from us. You're just all this hell bent on, keeping this code of yours. So he's like, you know what? I'm gonna do everything in my power to, everything in my can, push you mentally, like, drain you and everything, so that eventually something happens and you'll cross that line, knowing that once you do, you'll never be the same. You'll never be the protector, the crusader, the one trying to stop me. You'll be no better than one of us. That's basically what this Joker's mindset, at least to my understanding. But yeah, I would say so episode 2, we kind of get more introduced to Joker. Episode 5, I would say, is a good episode where you can meet Poison Ivy if she's a favorite character of yours. We also get introduced to Harvey Dent before he gets turned into Two-Face. But then, like, 5 episodes later, there's a part 1 and part 2 named Two-Face, where we get pretty much the backstory of what happened to him, what caused him to become, what happened to him that caused his accident, his incident, and eventually, funny enough, that's where he popped up, him getting his persona, getting his split personality of becoming Two-Face, and eventually Bruce losing his good friend, because we do know that Harvey Dent was like a friend of his, someone he looked out for, especially in like the previous episode. He gets entangled with the person that we now know as Poison Ivy, but they was trying to do everything he can to protect him, but wasn't able to, save him from the fate that eventually ended up falling to him, and him falling into just straight madness. So that's a really good episode, especially if Two-Face is your favorite character. So they do have a 2-parter for that. There's a lot of 2-parters in this for certain characters. Well, certain like villains get introduced, there is like a 2-parter, but yeah, so he has a 2-parter. Dr. Freeze has his own episode, which I looked up, and apparently that one won a Daytime Emmy in 1993. Like I said, this show won so many awards, and certain episodes won certain awards. So this one won 14 that introduced Dr. Freeze, won a Daytime Emmy Award in 1993 for Outstanding Writing. Then there's a 2-parter that we get the introduction of Selena Kyle, or aka Catwoman, so we get introduced to her story, kind of, her and Bruce meeting up and, their civilian form, and then meeting them in their superhero slash thief form, and just the attraction forming between them. But it's not just him, because there are episodes later on where we get introduced to Talia Ghul and Ra's al Ghul, and then the attraction between the two of them. Let me see. Afterwards, there's a 2-part with Clayface, so we get the introduction to Clayface, what happened to him, what caused him to become Clayface, and kind of like his motivation for doing what he does. There's another good point. Episode 22 is where we get the introduction of Harley Quinn. So this whole point, Joker's been kind of not really a staple character, but at this point he popped up in episode 2, but we don't get Harley till a couple of good episodes later, where we get fully introduced to her, her being his accomplice, his henchman, and so on and so love interest. So that's a really iconic episode as well. Then we have Robin's 2-parter, where we get introduced to him, his backstory, and just kind of dealing with the after effect of finding out the person who, caused his parents' death, and kind of like the choice he ends up making in the end, for getting his revenge on the person that pretty much ruined his whole life. Then there's the two-parter towards the end of season 1 that gets introduced to Barbara Gordon, and of course, aka Batgirl. So, before we get into, there's only like really 2 episodes I want to talk about for season 2, but before I get into that, there was a bit of information about season 2 production that I didn't know until I was looking it up. So apparently, due to the success that season 1 was having, the Fox network executives ordered a second season of 20 more episodes, while the 65 first episodes were still airing. So season 1 hadn't even finished yet, and they already was like, okay, we need to make a season 2. There needs to be 20 episodes. Get to work on it immediately. So I guess that's why this series just kind of kept going until 1995, because season wasn't even done yet, and they were like, yeah, you're getting a season 2. This is how many episodes we're willing to do, or this is how many episodes we want. There you go. Season 2 featured more Robin prominent episodes, so you definitely see him playing more of a role in the crime fighting sphere of things, him playing more a role as the main character. So I would definitely say, yeah, more towards the first season, it was more like Batman, him more getting introduced to all the iconic villains that he, fights on a daily basis. But the second season shows more of Robin playing more of a role, him being more getting that, what's his nickname? I forget his nickname that they, call him with Batman. But, oh, right. After airing 5 episodes of the 20 of the season 2, the network reduced the series to airing only weekly on Saturday mornings. So it looks like they were just like maybe releasing a couple of episodes every other day, maybe. But I guess they decided that they were going through the episodes way too fast, and decided that instead they were only going to be airing them once a week, every Saturday. Which is pretty kind of funny enough, because that's kind of, it reminds me of when I don't think they do this anymore, but when they had that Kids WD block, like on Saturday mornings, like it'd be really early in the morning, so it's like 8 o'clock, and that's where they would show like all the cartoons. Like they would show Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, did it show Digimon? I don't remember. But pretty much like it would be like a really cool cartoon front. So for people like me in the beginning who maybe at first didn't have the money for like cable and internet and stuff like that, that like first couple of those first like 4 hours of just straight cartoons were like prime time for us. So, because it always ended around like noon, and afterwards it'd be like sports or whatever else would be on like regular TV. So it was like if you overslept or you missed that time, you pretty much missed all the cartoons, and you had to wait till next week to maybe catch something. I mean, by that point they were also doing Kids WB like during the day, so it was like right after school they would have like a quick like 2-hour block of them showing cartoons there too. Man, TV was so different back in the day, especially if you didn't have like cable. If you had to, if you only had like basic channels like channel 1, 2, 4, 7, whatever PBS Kids is on, 33, 39, like the basic first few channels and stuff like that. After a certain time, like they had cartoon shows on or animated shows on, but after a certain time it'd be like regular, just everyday stuff, shows that of course as a kid you're not interested in watching that stuff. I know that was such a huge relief when we finally did get not internet, cable, because then we could watch channels like Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, so we could watch like the Disney shows, the Nickelodeon shows, and all that whatnot. But yeah, so there's 2 episodes, like I said, from season 2 that I really want to talk about. There's episode 4, which is it's a Ra's al Ghul and Talia Ghul focused episode. So I'm like, I think they did make an appearance in season 1, but this one is more, not more, but it was just like a very interesting one because he had like stolen some sacred Egyptian scroll, and him and Talia had to team up to stop him because apparently he was just losing it, and the scroll had more power than he was able to control. So it kind of just showed like them working together, the tension between them and whatnot. Then there's a very iconic episode in season 2, 11, Baby Doll, which focuses on this. We think it's actually a little girl, you know, this little girl star who is tired of uh it's like trying to relive her glory days of, you know, being this iconic superstar that, you know, everyone looked up, not really looked up to, but, you know, gushed over. Finds out that it's a woman. I don't even know how old they said she was, but apparently she has some type of rare condition that kind of prevents her body from growing into adulthood. So she's literally stuck in like the body of like a 6 or 7 year old. And I guess after all these years of just always being treated like a kid, it like warped her mind that, you know, she is always this kid, but sometimes she'll flip or she'll act the age I guess she is supposed to be apparently, and just kind of seeing the breakdown of her and whatnot. It's crazy, but it's such a good episode. And then yeah, the rest of the season and all the other episodes from season 1 that I kind of really didn't go over. It's just that. Sometimes it'll start with him being as Bruce, going through the day. Maybe something caught his eye. Maybe something happened to a friend he has, or maybe something will catch his attention as Bruce. And then he'll investigate it as Batman, or maybe something happens as Batman during the night. When he goes into his daytime persona, and maybe whatever it is still lingering and lingering into the next day, and he'll maybe pick up some clues that he could only pick up when he's Bruce, and then he'll go and investigate it the next day. It's such a good show. It's so good. It's so iconic. Like I said, there's another one that they made. I'm assuming it's, even if it's not the same people, I think it's made by the same team, because literally the art styles and the format of the show is pretty much almost like one-to-one, but based off the characters, like story, background, and whatnot. There's the Superman animated series that came up afterwards, and I was looking over because I swear I thought there was a crossover between them. There is, but it's only in the Superman one. The Batman one didn't have a crossover, so I guess at that point they weren't really thinking about making a Superman animated series. So that's when you can know, like, this one was first, then they made the Superman one, and then they had a crossover. And let me tell you, that crossover episode, what was it? I think it was like episodes. There was like 2 of them. Oh, they were so good. I remember them clearly. I'm not gonna spoil it yet, because maybe I'll eventually talk about the Superman animated series one. But yeah, but growing up, like I said, this is probably the first Batman one I grew up watching. I don't know for other people out there, but for me personally, the one I remember watching next was Batman Beyond. So basically, it kind of follows the same storyline of this. It's like years later at this point. Bruce Wayne is retired. He can't keep up being Batman anymore. He's way too old to, you know, continue on with his role as Batman. So he pretty much needs a successor, and that's where we get, oh god, what was his name? Like something McGee, right? I can't remember his name. It's like on the tip of my tongue. Terry. I was like, I know something with a T. I know. I'm like, is it Teddy? I'm like, no, it wasn't Teddy. Terry McGinnis. There it was. Not McGee. No, Terry McGinnis. Ends up becoming a new Batman, and that's actually, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. You know what? I'll pause that, and I will open that. Yep. So this one. This was the next Batman one I watched, and it pretty much kind of follows years later. At this point, Bruce is way too old, way too tired. Body's pretty much beat up the hell and back to be Batman, to keep up the persona of Batman. Ends up running into Terry, and takes him under his wing, I guess, and then he like eventually finds the Batcave, finds out that, you know, Bruce Wayne used to be Batman, and eventually ends up taking up the mantle of Batman in this new form. This series was so good. I hate that they never brought this series back or never did a season 2 or anything. This show was so good. Batman Beyond was so good. So that's why, especially fans like me who grew up watching the Batman anime series maybe first, seeing that this was in our mind, this was based this was a sequel to the original Batman, because pretty much just picking up years later that Bruce can't be Batman anymore and he's passing on the mantles to someone else. And of course at this time you think maybe it's gonna be Dick Grayson, or maybe it's gonna be one of the other many hundred of Robins. I found out years later that that the Robin, that there's different Robins. A lot of the anime series, they start off with the Robin being Dick Grayson, but sometimes throughout the series it will change and the Robin will be somebody else. It could be Tim Drake, or Jason Todd, or now later on they do Damian Wayne as the new Robin. So there's a lot of new any new animated movie or DC movie will have Damian as the Robin now. They'll have Dick Grayson as Nightwing, because eventually they do change that he grows out of that and becomes Nightwing. Especially in Teen Titans, the original Teen Titans. Ooh yeah, we definitely know that Robin is based off of Dick Grayson, because he becomes Nightwing, and one of the episodes where Starfire goes to the future by accident, finds out what happens to her team, ends up meeting Robin, but he announces, "Oh, I'm not Robin anymore. I go by a different name." And it's so good. But that series was so good. Actually, I probably should have said where you guys can watch this. You can watch it on Amazon Prime Video, the Roku channel, YouTube TV. I guess you can buy the season for $1.99 on Apple TV if you guys want to watch that like that. But no, this series was so good. This was a starting point for me for so many DC ones. So, after this, I was watching Superman, the anime series. Where's my Static Shock fans? Because what? I loved Static Shock. There actually is a crossover that Static Shock did with the Justice League. Well, there was 2. Actually, no, I think there's 3. These 3 different crossovers that Static Shock does. One was him with Batman and Robin. Another one was him and Superman. And then there was one with him and the Justice League. So it was Batman, Hawkgirl, Green Lantern? No, it was Green Lantern, Flash, Martian Manhunter. I think that's it. Because Superman wasn't there, Wonder Woman wasn't there. Yeah, so there was everyone but them 2. So yeah, Static Shock had 3 different crossovers with 3 other major series. Then we had Justice League Unlimited. What? Oh, I was watching that religiously when that show came out. For me, those were my DC introductions. Cause what was the other one? I feel like there's one more and I'm missing it. I don't know what. I can't remember what it is. I'm blanking. But yeah, Batman anime series, Superman anime series, Justice League Unlimited, Static Shock, Teen Titans was the one, superhero animated cartoon shows. Justice League. What? Justice League was a shit. Oh, I did watch a few Spider-Man shows. Let me see if I can find the right one. Ooh, X-Men Evolution. Ooh, that's a good one. I would love to talk about that. Yep, Static Shock. Oh, I do remember this. Legion of Superheroes. That was on Cartoon Network. I don't remember that one at... Oh, I had to look into that. Teen Titans. The Avengers. I saw a few episodes here and there. Iron Man Armored Adventures. Ooh, I remember watching that religiously. That one was so cool. Then another Batman, Brave and the Bold. I'm trying to think. Oh, the OG X-Men. Now I know they brought it back. I haven't watched the remake or the continuation that they did. I think Netflix did it. But the old X-Men, and the old Superman from 1994, Yeah, I remember watching that. The X-Men I'm talking about is the one that came out in '97. They used to do reruns of that a lot back in the day. So I'd watch that. I'd watch the '94 Superman. I watched some other ones too. I can't remember what they called them. Oh, I did see Superman Unlimited because that one was different. I think that's gonna end, at least like DC wise. Because other like shows were like Ben 10, Justice, well, Young Justice. I mean, there was Iron Man, X-Men. There were so many different Batmans coming out at the time. I was like, oh my god, I couldn't keep up. I couldn't keep up with all of them. Same with Superman. I'm not Superman. I keep saying Superman. Spider-Man. There were so many different Spider-Man animated adaptations that they did. My goodness. Oh, and around that time, there was also the 2003 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What? That show was so good. That show was so crazy for a show that was on 4 kids. Are you kidding me right now? Like, going back and seeing some of the, I'm trying to find the thing, not that. I was trying to find the shows that were on it, because, what? There were so many shows on, that, like, that got the licensing of 4 kids. Where is it? Yeah, this thing went under years ago. Actually, it went out later than I thought. Apparently, they went back up around 2016, 17. I was like, damn. I mean, they were still ongoing from that point? I thought they had, like, stopped in, like, the early 2000s. I didn't know they were still going up until then. What the hell? I can't find the show. Well, no. They said the first bankruptcy was around, like, 2012 or so? And then the second one and how they closed was 2016 to 17. That's crazy. 4 kids shows. Okay, yeah. There was Winx Club. Oh, I would love to do a Winx Club chat day. Like I said, 2003 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh, that's right. Sonic X was on 4 kids. Yu-Gi-Oh was on 4 kids. Yu-Gi-Oh GX. I think for that, it went all the way up to, it was Yu-Gi-Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh GX, Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds was under like 4 kids before it changed. Because after 5Ds, is it Zexal? Is that what's next? And then that was on something else. Right? Is that what's next? After 5Ds, it's Zexal, right? I can't remember. It's been so long. Martin Mystery. Oh, I love Martin Mystery. They even did a crossover with him and Totally Spies. I think it was created by the same company or same people. But I love Martin Mysteries too. Tai Chi Chasers. I never watched that. I always heard about it, but I never watched it myself. Viva Pinata. I loved Viva Pinata. Yeah, but Pokemon was on it. One Piece was on it. Oh, Shaman King, that was on it too. Magical Do-Re-Mi. What else? Ultimate Muscle. Oh my god, this is just making me go down the lane of just shows I remember watching. And then I remember at one point, I had family members who knew I was a huge fan of Sailor Moon. I was like, oh, if you go on a certain channel, like early in the morning, they show like Sailor Moon episodes. And I was like, what? Don't tell me that, because now I'm gonna want to wake up and see if I can catch me like like an hour of Sailor Moon or something. But I never did, which was kind of funny, but I never did figure it out. Oh, Dinosaur King, that was on it too. It was just, oh my god, it was just so many shows that even though, you know, we all make fun of 4 kids, it was just that show that just had everything. Yeah, there was, and then I'm looking at, we're at Jetix, there's Puka, yeah, Witch, I would love to, Witch episode, Puka, Oban Star Racers, I remember that, Oh, excuse me. Yeah, Digimon. It's not showing the other, but I know vividly Jetix had like the first like 3 or 4 seasons of Digimon. So like there was Digimon, Digimon Adventure 2, Digimon Savers, I think the third season is called. Then there was Digimon Frontier. And then it was the Digimon Data Squad, which I never really did watch that one. I watched all the way up to Frontier, which is funny enough because I loved Digimon Frontier, but I guess around the time a lot of people hated it because it was, I guess, different from the original ways they used to do Digimon. You know, instead of, you know, them getting a Digimon partner, the kids in that series bonded with certain ancient like Digimon spirits and was able to transform into Digimon, so they did the fighting themselves. But I always thought that was so cool. I was like, that is so cool. Like you kind of like you bond with a spirit of an ancient Digimon, and it gives you the power to become that Digimon, to get those powers and abilities. I thought that was so cool. But apparently, growing up, a lot of people hated Digimon Frontier. But as like the years went by, people started like really liking it, and I'm like, what? Y'all was smoking something back in the day, because that one was so cool and interesting. Like it was still Digimon, but instead of them having partners, it was like them just bonding with certain Digimon spirits and, you know, evolving that way. Cause they had like kind of like a base form, and then they had their, what they called it, like it kind of like their ultimate form. So there was like an ultimate stronger version of like the original spirit they bonded with, that they bonded over with and could be even more powerful. Oh, there was like beast form. So it was like there was like the regular Digimon form, and then there was like a stronger beast form of like the same like element that they bonded with, that they could do, that they could bond with. So I thought that was cool. I'm just looking at some of the other shows, because I'm looking at what apparently what Jetix had in like other parts of the world. Elabolic. Oh, that's something else. I was like, wait a minute, what? Okay. Cause like in Europe they had Bubba Bubba Bubba, which is funny because we got that in Cartoon Network. We didn't have that on Jetix. They had Hamtaro on Jetix. Shut up! I loved Hamtaro, but they had that on Cartoon Network. Oh my god, I would love to do a Hamtaro episode. I loved Hamtaro growing up. Oh, they had One Piece. Jetix didn't have One Piece, at least for us here. They had Pokemon. No, that was on Cartoon Network. Sonic X. I think at that point it was on 4Kids for us, so we didn't have that. They had Pretty Cure over on the Europe 4Kids, which is interesting because I saw there was a Pretty Cure that they did in English, like the first one, and then they had like, I know the series has been going on since then, but they've never really dubbed any other of the Pretty Cures until they got to, which one is it? And the one they changed and called it Glitter Force. The Netflix got a hold of it and they called it Glitter Force. Which one was that one? No, that's a different one. No, which one was it? I'm literally just looking at this list. Okay, that was the second one they did. Okay, so it was Smile Pretty Cure. That's the one that they end up calling Glitter Force once Netflix got a hold of it. And then they got the next one, which was Doki Doki Pretty Cure. They changed that to Glitter Force Doki Doki, I believe they called it. I don't know if Netflix still has it, but yeah. So we didn't get another English dubbed of Pretty Cure until we got to the Smile Pretty Cure and Doki Doki Pretty Cure. But then they called those two Glitter Force. And then they never did anything else. And there's been series after that. There's a Happiness Charge, Go Princess, Witchy, Kitty Pure. I said that. There's Hug, Star Twinkle, Healing Good, Tropical Rouge, Delicious Party Pedicure, Soaring Sky, Wonderful. And then there's one that's currently out called You and Idol Pretty Cure. Like, this series has been going on for years. That would be another series I would be trying to interesting in seeing, because I've seen the first one, and I never saw any of the. No, I did see the. Yes, Pretty Cure 5 and Yes, Pretty Cure 5 Go Go. I did see that one. I'd have to rewatch it, 'cause that's been a couple of years. No, I haven't watched that one. I've seen images of the girls in this one. You know what? Actually, I can show you guys, because I'm saying this one, but then y'all not seeing what I'm talking about. Let me make it a little bigger. Yeah, so I've seen this one. I've seen that Pretty Cure. This is like the second one that kind of focuses on the same girls. Never watched it. This one looks like the same girls, but they're different. I've seen this one. So I've seen the first Pretty Cure. I've seen the 4th season and the 5th season. Fresh Pretty Cure, never seen. Hard Catch Pretty Cure. I've seen images of the girls everywhere, but I've never watched it myself. Suit Pretty Cure, never watched that one. Wait, where did I stop? Small Pretty Cure, I saw that one, but that's the one they called Glitter Force when Netflix got it. I saw Doki Doki Pretty Cure when they called it Glitter Force Doki Doki. Never seen that one. I think I've seen images of the girls in this one. I've never seen that one. I've never seen that one. I think I saw like 1 or 2 episodes and I just stopped for whatever reason. Of Hug Pretty Cure. Never seen that one. I think I've seen images of their like transformation in this one. Healing Good Pretty Cure. I think the same with this one. I've seen the transformations for this one. For the tropical. Delicious Party Pretty Cure. Never seen that one. Oh, I've definitely seen the transformations for this one. Soaring Sky Pretty Cure. This one, no. And this is the new one that's out. So the fact that this series has been going on for years is crazy. Like, it's crazy how many like shows in Japan just get like have been going on for years. Like, cause another show I'm really interested in, and actually I haven't watched in a minute, is Detective Conan or A Case Close. I've been watching that for so long. I swear to you, it's crazy how long that series been going on. I did a Detective Conan episode, I believe so. I don't think it's on my YouTube, but if you go to if you look up my podcast on any podcasting thing, I did do a Detective Conan episode. But no, just interesting that, you know, they had like Pretty Cure. What else? They had Shin-Chan, Crayon Shin-Chan, and the Europe 4 Kids. That's funny. Okay, they had Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, and Yu-Gi-Oh! 5. These, okay, kind of like us. Oh, that's right! American Dragon Jink Long. That was on JetX. I do remember that. Oh, India had Detective Conan in their JetX. Gargoyles. That's another one we had. We had Gargoyles in our JetX. I do remember that. Modern Mystery, or is it that? Yeah, then we had Power Rangers, we had Light Speed Rescue, we had Lost Galaxy, we had Ed PM. Was Wild Force JetX? Did we have that on JetX too, or no? I think we had to, because I thought we had stopped after. I thought we had stopped at like Mystic Force. We must have. Because Wild Force is way before Mystic Force. And apparently, we had Dino Thunder, we had SPDE, we had... What was the other ones it said we had? I don't remember. Haha. Oh, what the hell? They had Total Drama Island on India's 4 Kids? Oh no, this is JetX. Okay. I was like, what the hell? Oh, but no, that's still kind of odd. So they had Total Drama Island on their JetX. That's crazy. Yeah, we had the X-Men, the OG X-Men. I'm trying to see if there's any. Beyblade. Yeah, the first couple I think it was like the first season, not the first season. The first like OG series of Beyblade was on Jetix, and then when they got to Metal Fusion, like that series, I think at that point it like got over to Cartoon Network. But like, the first like OG Beyblade was on Jetix for us. What else? Kirby Right Back at Ya. No, that was on 4Kids for us. Dinosaur King. Yeah, that was 4Kids for us. Grossology? Wow, they had that in the United Kingdom's Jetix. We had that on. That was like some extra channel that they made for that. For us. I don't remember what it was called. But that wasn't on like Jetix. Shaman King, we had Shaman King. It was just, it's so weird seeing like all the different shows other people got and just remembering, oh, we got this on this network or whatnot. Okay, yeah, so it showed me some of the main shows. It was Power Rangers, Digimon, Super Robot Monkey Team, Hyperforce Go. I would love to do an episode about that. That show was so gas growing up. Dragon Boosters, don't know what that is. Witch, I would love to do an episode talking about Witch. Witch was my shit. Get Ed, Yin Yang Yang, Puka. I would love to do a Puka episode. Let's see. Also, and now I'm reading the list. I do remember that at one point they always split it. So like during the day up to like a certain point, it was like Disney. I think they still called it Toon Disney, or they called it like something else. And then after a certain point, I think around like 7 or 8 is when they changed it, and it was Jetix, and that's when they would show like Witch, Puka, any Power Rangers, Digimon, Super Robot Monkey Team. That's when they would show like those shows. Because I'm looking at the list, I'm like, oh yeah, they did show like Tarzan, Gargoyles, American Dragon, Jake Long, Spider-Man Unlimited, X-Men, Chaotic, Beyblade. Well, Beyblade was Jetix. Shinjo! Oh shit! I forgot about that show. I loved Shinjo growing up. Let me pull it up so you guys can see it. It's this show right here. This was also on our Jetix. Shinjo? What? That show was so cool growing up. I loved that show. What else? Oh, Jackie Chan Adventures. That was a good show. See, here it is. Superman anime series, Batman anime series, Pinky and the Brain, Fantastic Four. Like, I don't know. To me, I feel like they don't really make TV how they used to. Especially with all like these streaming services and whatnot. Wait, what is this? Oh, they got them in parts. So it's like, well, I'm not gonna say nothing. But yeah, no, this series was just, the Batman anime series was just so good growing up. Especially like for me, like this was my first introduction into the Batman world. Knowing Batman, knowing all the characters, all the villains, learning their backstories as well, you know, not just hearing everything from the point of view of Batman. We were getting it from everyone's point of view, just kind of like how the world treated them, how it either screwed them over royalty. Well, I guess in a way it did. Like, just seeing the effect Gotham had on everyone. You know, negativity to the point that it either turned you all the way to good or it turned you all the way to bad. You know, we all know the story of Batman, what happened to him, what caused him to, you know, instead of going off the deep end, decided that he was going to do everything in his power to ensure that no one else ever had to go through what he went through. But then also seeing the other side of pretty much seeing the world and the city of Gotham, the effect it had on someone else, for them going to that other side and flipping out, becoming a Joker, becoming a Two-Face, becoming a Penguin, you know, just, you know, and then just seeing the clash of the good and the evil, and always making sure, hoping, you know, he never does cross that line of or making sure that everyone around him never ever crosses that line of, taking a life, seeing him interact with all the villains and the effect they have on him and whatnot. It's just, oh, it's so good. Like I said, for someone who I was never really huge into like the whole Superman Batman thing, but I would say the two shows, the Batman anime series and the Superman anime series, definitely got me into the whole Superman superhero hype. That's what got me into watching more like Static Shock and Teen Titans, and it was just so those were definitely like staple shows for me. Just starting up, because I know some people grew up with like the comics, or maybe the first interaction you had was maybe one of the like live action movies that they had, or maybe you saw any of the animated movies, because there's a lot of animated movies of Batman, of any DC really. There's a lot of Batman, Superman ones. Like, ugh, I feel like there's one that comes out like every year or so. But it's just so good. Ugh. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, it's an older show, so if you're someone who doesn't really, if you grew up with any of the other Batmans, I mean, in the end, it's all kind of the same. They do it in their own ways of like telling the story of how he did this, how this villain become this villain, like their backstory, their motivation, their drive, and whatnot. It's all different, similar in some ways, but different. So it's kind of interesting too, seeing like over the years all the different like storytellings of Batman, of how he became the Cape Crusader, how he started this, how he formed his team, how he got introduced to Robin, how Batgirl got introduced, how the Robins changed. Alfred, I didn't even talk about Alfred this whole time. Alfred, his major role in keeping Bruce like grounded, making sure he doesn't ever go off the deep end as well. Kind of being like the last family member he has that's been with him since thinking thin, losing his parents, helping him not totally go completely nuts. Because that's actually something people don't really talk about as much. But you definitely see it here, at least for me, kind of the effect that Alfred always kind of has on Bruce. Helping him never fully go over that line. Because I feel like if he was by himself after the death of his parents, if he didn't have Alfred like keep him grounded, keep him from, well, completely going off the edge, because as we know, once he gets like really obsessed about something, Batman can go a little off the deep end to the point that he almost loses himself. But it is people like Alfred, like Rob, and that eventually like Batgirl that helps pulls him back from fully going over the edge. Because I think that's something that Joker always sees. He always sees that Batman is just that, like, he's really close. He's like on that edge of, oh, he wants to be this good guy that protects and saves, but he's like one mistake off from doing something that's gonna push him over the edge. And that's kind of the drive between the two of them, of he's always trying to see what is that gonna be, that final push that pushes him over. And it's just crazy. It's so good, such a good story, good tellings, and that's definitely the art style. You definitely can tell is dated, but it just has that good, cool, like 90s feel about it, that someone like me who grew up in the early 2000s and shows like that were still like circling the the TV waves and whatnot, just has that cool like old style that you just kind of like. It's kind of like when your parents like watching all those old shows from back in the day, and you're looking at like the quality and you're like, what, how could you watch this? But to them, that's was something they grew up. This was peak story for them, or peak quality at the time. And of course I could definitely say the art style and animation is definitely definitely increased a lot, because we got shows that are beautifully created nowadays, like with different standards. But you can definitely say from back in the day, like show like this definitely looked good for its time. It's definitely dated, but it definitely looked good for the time same it came out in. Same thing with the Superman one. You can definitely tell the time it came out of, and for a show around that time, it looks really good and just has that nostalgia feel for people like me who grew up with it. But that's kind of it. I don't really know what else to do. Actually, let me grab some water and then I'll figure out what I'm gonna do next. So give me a sec. Alright, so I figured out what I was gonna do. I looked over on my quiz tab that I made when I was just saving some quizzes, and I found there are a few cartoon ones that I saved. And one I found, pretty enough, was a 90s nostalgia trivia. How many things can you remember from the 90s? So this would be kind of interesting to do. So let me, where is it? Put my screen up, audio. There we go. Turn off my music. So we'll do this. There's another one afterwards that we could do. Guess the cartoon character quiz, and there's another one that I guess I thought I did, but apparently I didn't. So, but we'll do this. 90s nostalgia trivia. Oh, I don't remember what this is called, but I do remember this. Mousetrap. Okay. I don't think I ever had that game. Oh, wait, what's the name right there? Oh, that's a PlayStation. That's a 2? Or is it the first one? Oh, first one. Okay, so that was the first one. Oh, fudge. I forgot what those were called. But yeah, everybody and their sister had that. Skip it. Oh. Oh, fuck. You know, I can't remember what that's called, and I always wanted one of those. Writing diary entries. Okay, I remember the ones were different. Oh, those were the, like, snap band wristbands that kids used to wear a lot. Snap bracelets. Okay. What TV show was Slime Time live on? Was that was Nickelodeon, right? That's what they always... Yeah, Nickelodeon. They don't do the slime no more. At least not really. Oh, I remember these. I actually never knew what they were called. What are they called? Koish balls? Oh, that's the... Was it the 9-ball? 8-ball? 8-ball, right? Magic 8-ball. There we go. What TV show is this? Dexter's Laboratory. Who is this? That is Johnny Bravo. Man, so quick to get him a case. He's always harassing women. What board game is this? Is this... No. It's not Clue It, right? Or something like that? Dream Phone. Up. Never heard of that. Oh my god, I remember those! Oh, fuck. What is it called? I don't remember. Poochie Dog? That's what it was called? I swear that it was called something else. What soft drink is this? I've never seen that a day in my life. What drink is that? Cherry Coke? That's what Cherry Coke used to look like? Tamagotchis! I used to have one. Oh my god. Those were so popular back in the day. Tamagotchis were the shit. Who is this? That is Steve from Blue's Clues. Yep. Steve's from Blue Clues. What's this device used for? Playing CDs. CD player. A Walkman. I was like, is that a Walkman? Yep. What's this called? Was it Skip It? Bop It? Bop It! There we go! Oh, fuck, what was this called? Crocodile Dentist. What's it called? I swear I thought it was called something else. Oh, those are moon boots? I think they were called? Moon shoes. Okay, I was close. It was moon shoes, not moon boots. What is this game called? Cat Cradle? Something like that? Cat Cradle. There we go. Snake? Is that what they used to call it? Weasley Watch. Oh, what are I forgot what they were called, but those things were so fun. Socket Boppers. There we go. Socket Boppers. Oh, man. That is a Game Boy? Yeah, okay. I was like, wait, no. The one that my cousin had was like Game Boy Advance. It was different. Lava lamps. Yep. Oh, fudge. I forgot what these were called. Keenix? Huh, I thought they were called something else. Those are trolls? Are those trolls? Or are they something else? No, trolls. Okay, those are troll dolls. Okay. Courage the Cowardly Dog! Stupid dog, you made me look bad. This show's so freaking weird. Oh my god. Furbies, right? I think those called Furbies. Furby! Oh, I know I saw these. I don't remember what they're called. Lit Bright? I swear I'm thinking like different names a lot of this stuff. What two letters are on the tag of Beanie Babies? I don't remember. Oh, well. Oh, the TY, duh! Oh! Rocket Power! Ah, I forget that. That's right, I don't do that no more. Rocket Power! Oh, this is Doug! Haha! Do 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 do. That is the green mask, right? That's what it's called. The Mask, and then there was a movie called The Son of the Mask. Now, oh, that one was good too. Is that the school thing? I forgot what it's called. Zoo books? Oh, I would think about something totally else. What book series is this? I don't think I've ever seen this a day in my life. What is this? Animorphs? Clearly we didn't have that book. Oh, that is Captain Underpants, right? The Adventures of Captain Underpants. Mm-hmm. That was a popular series. Oh, see, I thought it was the Scholastic. That's what I thought it was. Nah, but that's I guess the brand. Uh, Smash Mouth. Yeah, I was blanking on the name for a minute. Converse. Yeah, them things were so uncomfortable. I had a red one. It was so good. That is Full House, I believe. Yep, Full House. There we go. I was like, is it the other one? No, no, that's Full House. Got Milk. I remember that. I remember that. Got Milk. That is Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Bel-Air. Who is the lead singer of Nirvana? No idea. Kurt Cobain. That wouldn't have gotten that. What popular dance trend is this? Macarena, I think, right? Macarena, yeah! Oh, this is... Oh, why am I blanking on the name? All That. Yeah, there we go, All That. This is... Is it called Good Burger, right? Yeah, Good Burger. Is that a mood ring? That's what it looks like. It looks like a mood ring. Oh, I was right. This is the Spice Girls, right? That's what they were called? Spice Girls? Yeah. That's DuckTales. Well, that's the new DuckTales. That's that remake they made a couple years back. That's Tommy! Tommy Pickles! Oh, hello, Neku? I'm very quickly learning that I do not have good knowledge about non-video game topics. Alright. That was pretty good. Alright, so we could do the next one. Let's see, maybe you do this one. Guess the cartoon characters.
Welcome back to the
Oop, let me pull that up.
quiz. In today's quiz, we have to guess famous
Good
cartoon
job getting that
characters.
first try. Most people botch
Alright,
it.
let's get started.
That's SpongeBob. SpongeBob SquarePants.
SpongeBob,
Tweety Bird.
Tweety,
Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse,
That's Ben Tennyson. I almost call him Ben 10. That's the show's name. His name is Ben Tennyson.
Ben 10,
Oh, well, they went by the show. Bugs Bunny. But his name is Ben Tennyson.
Bugs Bunny,
That's the Pink Panther.
Pink Panther,
Garfield.
Garfield,
Popeye. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man.
Popeye,
Homer Simpson.
Homer Simpson,
That's Jerry from Tom and Jerry.
Jerry,
That's Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown.
That's Daffy Duck.
Daffy Duck.
That's Pooh. Or Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh.
That's Fred Flintstone.
Fred Flintstone.
Flintstones. Where the Flintstones? Oh God. Yogi Bear, right? That's his name?
Yogi.
Yeah. That's Snoopy.
Snoopy.
Snoopy. That is. Why am I blanking on his name? Shaggy.
Rogers.
Why was I blanking on Shaggy's name? Good God. It's Patrick. Patrick Star. I'm ashamed.
Patrick Star.
I knew his name, but I was blanking for whatever reason. That's Woody Woodpecker, right? I think that's his name?
Woody Woodpecker.
Yeah. Goofy.
Goofy.
Scooby-Doo. Or Scooby.
Scooby-Doo.
Pikachu. This is funny because growing up, we all thought Pokemon was a cartoon. Turns out it's an anime. That's the Grinch.
Grinch.
Dora the Explorer and Boots.
Dora.
Casper the Ghost.
Casper.
Oh, I don't know who this kid's name is. No, he's from that.
Nobita.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that. I've only seen bits and pieces of that. That's the Powerpuff Girls. That is Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup.
The Powerpuff Girls.
That is Clark Kent, aka Superman. They did a new Superman show they did.
Superman.
That is... Oh, I always forget this bird's name.
Roadrunner.
Roadrunner, that's what it is. Tasmanian Devil.
Taz.
Well, I went with his full name. That's... Eric Cartman?
Eric Cartman.
Yeah. Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo.
That's Sylvester.
Sylvester.
That's Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory.
Dexter.
Stevie? No. What's his name?
Stewie Griffin.
Stewie. What the hell? Courage.
Courage.
Goku. That's another one. Growing up, I always thought Dragon Ball Z was a cartoon show. Nope, that was anime as well. Oh, I don't remember what show this is. It looks familiar, but I don't remember.
SWAT Cat.
SWAT Cats. Never really watched it, but I saw bits and pieces. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Mulan.
Mulan.
I almost said Moana. Good lord. Batman. Wrong M.
Batman.
Peter Griffin.
Peter Griffin.
Ash.
Ash Ketchum.
Bart Simpson.
Bart Simpson.
That's Tom from Tom and Jerry. We had Jerry, now we gotta get Tom.
Tomcat.
Eeyore, right? That's his name? Eeyore?
Eeyore.
Ah, I was right. Velma. The OG Velma, not that new one they made. Good lord. I never even watched and I heard that shit was bad. Tigger.
Tigger.
Olaf, I think his name is.
Olaf.
Okay, there we go. Kim Possible, let's go.
Kim Possible.
That's Papa Smurf, right? That's his name? Papa Smurf?
Papa Smurf.
Yeah. That is, oh, Flounder. That's his name, Flounder.
Flounder.
That's Elsa.
Elsa.
Oh, see, this is Doraemon, right? I knew him's name.
Dormon.
Doraemon, or Doraemon? How do you pronounce it? That's Fred. I knew the cat's name. I didn't know the boy's name.
Fred Jones. How many cartoon characters you got right? Comment your score.
Was that the end? Oh, that was. And I wasn't even keeping track, so. Alright, and we'll do this last one right here. Adventure time. Yep. What's new, Scooby-Doo? Na 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 na. Na 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 do. We're coming after you. This one was good. Oh, Shaolin Showdown. It took me a minute. Yeah. Hey Arnold. I still need to watch that final movie they made a couple of years back. I never did watch it. Wait, what is this? Is this Martin Mystery? Sounds like Martin Mystery. Oh, I was right. What's this one? I don't know what this one is. Oh, it was Justice League. Samurai Jack. What? This show was the shit growing up. Oh, I just want to rewatch Samurai Jack. Oh, this show was so good. I'm so glad they came back and they did the ending. This is X-Men Evolution. I had to think, which X-Men is this? Yeah, this is the Evolution. This is the one that... Oh, Jackie Chan Adventure. That took me a minute too. Oh, this show was good too. Okay, this is the Spider-Man, but what Spider-Man is this? This isn't the 94 one. Oh, the Spectacular Spider-Man. Oh, Duck Dodger. This was actually a really interesting Looney Tunes spin-off they did. Danny Phantom. There's no white hair, going green eyes. Codename Kids Next Door, let's go! You know, I never knew until someone pointed it out to me that the voice actor for number 1 does Bond in the Seven Deadly Sins. I was like, no way. But I'm like, then again, it was years since I've ever heard him do something. What is this? This sounds good, but I have no idea what this is. Street football? I never knew that. I never watched that show. Oh, this is Batman Beyond. I was just talking about this earlier when I was talking about the Batman animated series. This is my next Batman I watched. Batman Beyond. Gotta do it with some aliens from annihilating us. My life as a teenage robot. I love this show. So welcome to my life as a teenage robot. Oop, Phineas and Ferb. Ending a continent of driving our sister insane. Those Phineas and Ferb are gonna do it all. Oh, Grim Bitches of Billy and Mandy, since I heard the laugh. Ooh, Dexter's Lab. Oh, this is I always get this name mixed up. Aqua Team Hunger Force, something like that. Yeah, don't scream. This show is so weird. Alright, now we're doing characters. Can't tell who that is. Oh, this is the dude from Treasure Planet. Oh, Atlantis? Oh, they made a Treasure Planet movie? I mean, show? That is Uncle Iroh from Avatar, Last Airbender. Iroh, yeah, my man. That is Humongosaur from Ben 10, Alien Force, Ultimate Alien, one of them. Yeah, I guess just Ben 10 in general. Yeah, Humongosaur. That's Betty from Atomic Betty. I loved Atomic Betty growing up too. Clifford the big red dog. Oh, and they can put the whole name. That's Dave from Dave the Barbarian. That's Ed with two D's from Ed and Nettie. Or double D. Oh, that's Freakazoid, right? Yeah. That is Hercules. I know they made a show. I never did the end of the show. I always saw the. Oh! What's the thing's name? Gru? Or something like that? I always forget his name. Or Gur. There it is, Gur. I know something with a G. That's Duncan, I believe that's his name. From Total Drama? Yeah, okay. There we go, Johnny Bravo again. Johnny Bravo. Oh, fudge. What's that show called? No, I'm thinking about something else. I can't remember what the show's called. Mega XLR, that's what it was. That's Mulan from Mulan. Chowder! Puka! Funny I talk about Puka and then she goes, I love Puka! I know they made a new one a couple of years back. You could watch it on YouTube, but oh, the OG Puka was so good. What the hell is this? Oh, that's the dude from Star Wars. I forget what his name is. General Grievous. There we go. There goes Static from Static Shock. Funny I bring that up too. I talked about that earlier. That was another show that got me into Heroes was Static Shock. That's Tara from Teen Titans? Yeah. Maggie from Simpsons. Alright, that was the last person. Now we got locations. That is SpongeBob's house. The pineapple, I think he calls it. Yep. That's the Powerpuff Girls house. Professor Utonium's house. I'm trying to remember what his name was. That is Courage's house. So that's what's her name? Miriam and Eustace's house. Baggy Farmhouse. That's what it's called? Never knew the name. That is the Neutron's house. That's Jimmy Neutron's house. That's the Test house from Johnny Test. That's Lilo's house. Or Nami's house. Or their parents' house. It's one of their house. Basically, it's their house. Lilo and Stitch. Oh, Foster's home. Foster's home for imaginary friends. Or mansion. That's the Turner's house from Fairy Odd Parents. It's Timmy Turner's home. Is that Rick and Morty? Is that Morty's house? I don't even remember what his last name is. Yeah, okay. Smith residence. Okay. And that's Rocket Power. I forget what their last name is, but that's their house. Rocket House. Okay. And that was the last one. Alright. You did pretty good on those. I'm gonna like that, like that. Put that. Go here. Go here. And yeah. Alright. That is it for me tonight, you guys. Thank you so much for everyone who came. Whether you're watching me over here on Twitch or YouTube, because remember, I do simul stream on both, so you guys can check me out on either or. But yeah, honestly, that was a lot of fun. I've been meaning to say this. I forgot to shout this person out before. Dart_Haven. You subscribed to me or followed me 4 days ago. I meant to shout you out, but with all the technical difficulties I was having the last couple of days, I forgot. But that's why I always kind of want to make sure this is up and working properly, so I can always showcase the last person that did follow me. So even if, like maybe today or last couple times I forget, their name can pop up right here to show shout out to them. But yeah, that's it for me tonight. Tomorrow, let me see, schedule is up. Yep. So tomorrow I'll be back with some more Persona 4. Then Saturday I will be off because I do have work really late that day. But luckily we're off Sunday, so we can pick back up with more Persona 4 to make up for the stream I canceled yesterday. But that's it for me. I hope everyone had a great day, night, evening, wherever you guys are. You guys stay safe. And until then, I'll see y'all next time. Bye, everyone.